Hello everyone. In this particular video, I'm going to present a lesson on basic research questions. So we'll see how basic research questions developed, what they are, what issues to be considered when we develop basic research questions by accompanying with tangible examples. So what is basic research questions? It is key questions, or there are key questions a research study seeks to answer. Address issues such as what, when, how, why, and where. It guides the entire research process and focus on a limited number of essential questions. So from this, what we understand is that research is about finding systemic answers using scientific methods. And also, we can say that from the slide, we can understand that not all questions about the topic are answers, because research focuses on core basic questions. Totally, from 3 to about basic research questions are used commonly. Of course, there are some researchers use 3, some researchers use or develop 4, another 5. Even there are researchers that develop about 7 basic research questions. Of course, these are basic and the core research questions. Therefore, this is very important to know. Now we move to basic, the significance of basic research questions. Why basic research questions? The reason why basic research questions is needed or required is, first, they organize the research process and methods, and also they define the scope and boundaries of the study, and also they keep the researcher focused on the central problem, and also they provide a framework for reporting and analysis, and basic research questions determine the type of data and information needed. What does this mean? We'll see one by one. Therefore, from this, what does this mean? Basic research questions can be said to use as a roadmap, that means guiding all stages of the study. And also, we can say that they highlight that prevent the study from becoming too broad or unfocused. So they help the researcher focus at a specific pointers that he wants to address. Above all, the research basic questions are highly linked with data gathering tools development. That means the data gathering tools that we are going to develop will be based on the basic research questions. If our basic research questions are not developed well, that means the data that we will collect will be also deviated, because the tools, because it depends on the tools. The tools matters. Therefore, in order to develop appropriate and smart data gathering tools, we have to develop smart basic research questions. Another issue point when we talk about basic research question is flexibility of research questions. What does this mean? Basic research questions developed initially during the research proposal stage. They are developed, they are not developed when we begin the actual study. It is developed during proposal development stage. Basic research questions can be reviewed, refined, and improved throughout the study. That means it does not a one-time work. It is something or some activities or things that are done again and again and refined. They remain flexible as the research focus evolves. That means it depends on the objective of our research. So it varies. Or the basic research questions vary even within the same research title. For example, if you have, let me say, example, assessing the harmful traditional practices in Ethiopia. If I say, one researcher may develop about 4 basic research questions, another 5, and even those basic research questions might vary depending on the objective of the study. So from this, what we understand is that the basic research question can be adapted from time to time as they gain insights during data collection. So it is something that can be improved. They are not fixed permanently. They are something that can be refined and improved. That is a very important part. Now, when we move to the next one, or slide number 4, the steps to develop basic research questions. How do we develop basic research questions? There are steps. Steps are the same, one after the other, one after the other. For instance, the first one identifies the research problem. Yeah, we have to identify the research problem. What does the research problem is? What are the topic under investigation? That is a very important part to know as a researcher. And then list all possible research questions. Yeah. By the way, we have said that number of basic research questions might be 3, 4, or 5. But when we first do, we have to list out all the possible research questions. It might be 10, it might be 20 basic research questions. Then group similar questions together. Then prioritize questions by relevance and importance. And then select questions most directly related to the problem under investigation. Finally, we review, refine, and simplify into 3 to 5 clear questions. These are the very important part that a researcher should know in order to be able to develop basic research questions. So the reason why we list all questions in order it allows us for comprehensive consideration, so that we should not be confined to 3 or 5 questions for the first time. It is very important to list down all possible questions that come into our mind. And also, it's better to cluster and prioritize so that to ensure focus on key questions. Basic research question means key questions, by the way. Key questions. There are other questions that can be derived or emanated from those basic research questions. So refinement produces concise, researchable questions. Now we move. What I want you to do for me is this. The first thing is look this book. This book is the book written on research methodology. It is in Amharic, especially it is very useful in Ethiopians. It's read as የምርምር ዘዴዎችን አተግባበር. When we translate this to English, it is equivalent to mean that research methods and its implementation. So these books, what makes these books and also the videos that I've developed, been developing and uploading for you, what makes it unique is this. I didn't copy from other books or other YouTube channel or videos, and it's like, honestly speaking, I've written this from my own experience as a writer, as a researcher, and as a practitioner, I can say. That's what makes my book. Another thing is I didn't simply adopt others' work. What it is, at least when I take some examples, I adapt them to or customize it to our real situation so that it befits Ethiopians. So, having said this, I recommend you have this book. Yes, you can have this book. This book is yours. If you want to get it, yes, you can get it. The only thing you do is just request it via my email. Another thing is what you do regarding about my video channel is this. The only thing you do is subscribe it and also be a regular attendance. And also share for other for your friends so that they can benefit from what you benefit. That's all I can say. Thank you very much. And to discussing the importance notes for researchers. It's better to focus on formulating clear, relevant, and researchable questions. I want you to underscore the term researchable questions. And as a researcher, one should not worry about answers at this stage. And answers will be obtained later through data collection and analysis. What does this mean? Note that all the purpose of developing questions at this time is not to find solution yet. Maybe the solution will be found based on the data gathering tools. So it is unnecessary to worry about answers at this stage. Of course, some of them might be guessed. Some of them might be guessed. By the way, if we expect that we know the answer prior to the questions, it is better to formulate hypothesis. Hypothesis, by the way, that is what we call it hypothesis. In other videos, I presented what hypothesis means, how hypothesis developed. Hypothesis is nothing, but it is a kind of anticipating the answers and checking it with data collection and the information, so that that is what we call it hypothesis. But in these basic research questions, the reason why I develop basic research questions is just to seek answers from the respondents. Another issue that we are going to discuss is about role of research strategies. There are what you call it research strategies, by the way. These research strategies help determine the nature and the direction of research questions. There are about three main types research strategies that we call exploratory, descriptive, and explanatory. They have their own meaning. For instance, the exploratory means for emerging or less understood issues. We'll discuss, by the way, in the next video about research strategies, because research strategies are very important in order to develop basic research questions. So understanding strategy ensure appropriate questions and methods. Now let us see some examples how basic research questions are developed, what it looks like. For instance, here are 4 basic research questions developed for the title. The title is Radar Assessment of Harmful Traditional Practice in Ethiopia. So if one wants to study on this title, the following might be possible research questions. Of course, there are different research questions under one topic, but this one is a very common one and short and concise one. For instance, number 1, what harmful traditional practices are practiced in Ethiopia? Yeah, what are them? It's better to ask by the questions such as what. Then, why do harmful traditional practices continue in Ethiopian community? It's known that these harmful traditional practices is not stopped or is not, eliminated. Still, it's pervasive and devastating. Because of this, it is necessary to ask the questions such as why such kind of harmful traditional practices continue in Ethiopia. That is a very important thing. Sometimes even it is relapsing, it is coming again. Anyways, by the way, whenever you develop basic research question, first of all, you have to understand the topic under investigation. In order to get knowledge about that, it's better to review articles, the related literatures and the like, so that it is with that understanding that you begin to develop a basic research question. That's why, for instance, I have said that in Ethiopia today, this harmful traditional practice is seen being continued. So from that perspective, why is a necessary question. The third question is, what effect do harmful traditional practices have on individuals and society? What are the impact? What are the effects? To what level, by the way, effect, when it is measurable. Effect, when it says harmful, to what level? In depth, or maybe it might not be in depth. Anyways, which one are highly harmful? Because when you talk about traditional harmful traditional practices, there are plenty of them. So which one are harmful on children? Which are harmful or practiced on maybe a female and also old people and the like? And so it's better to assess the effects and its impacts that is brought on the society and individuals. Another and the fourth question is, what actions? So, what actions are being taken to reduce harmful traditional practice in Ethiopia? The last question should be the solution, by the way, always. Because if all those we mentioned, if we know the reasons why, what it does mean, what effect it can bring, finally, so what to do? It's the question that comes. So what actions are being taken or to be taken reduce harmful traditional practice in Ethiopia. These are one example of basic research questions that are developed for the title Assessment of Harmful Traditional Practice in Ethiopia. Now we are going to see the takeaway. Takeaway, when you say we are going to summarize at least the importance of developing strong and clear questions, we have to also highlight the connection between questions, research methods, and study outcomes. So basic questions guide the research process, their roadmap. And basic research questions ensure focus, ensure scope, and ensure clarity. And also they provide a framework for analysis and reporting. And also basic research questions should be reviewed and refined throughout the study from time to time. And that means basic research question linked closely to the chosen research strategy. That's all about the key takeaways regarding this part. Now, the next video focuses on research strategies. The reason why it focuses on research strategies, it is better to know that basic research questions are guided by the basic research strategies such as exploratory, descriptive, explanatory. So we have to choose either of them. So based on these research strategies, we develop basic research questions. So basic research questions, types of basic research questions are based on the type of research strategies that we want to follow. Because the research strategy guides the identification and formulation of basic research questions. So it also, this research strategies, when it says they can determine the nature of questions and give the direction of study. Therefore, I would like you to watch or attend the next video till we meet there in the very next video. I would say thank you and goodbye.